Imagine losing a whole grade boundary before you even finish reading the question. That's exactly what happens when Cambridge IT students tackles symmetric encryption. Today, in this explainer for Syllabus 9626, we're going to reverse engineer the examiner's mindset, fix that fatal flaw, and secure those top band marks you actually deserve. Look at this question. Think fast. Does encrypting a file with a private key actually prevent it from being intercepted, or does it just make it unreadable? If your gut reaction was, well, encryption stops hackers from stealing the file, stop right there. You just fell into the most painful trap in the entire IT syllabus. You've confused cause and effect, and in a Cambridge exam, that literally captured grade instantly. Don't just take my word for it. This is straight from the principal examiner report. They are practically begging us here, saying that candidates consistently confuse key terminology and confuse cause and effect. They go on to say you must always define your terms before using them in extended responses. Memorizing the textbook is not enough, guys. If your logical reasoning is slightly off, all that revision time just goes right out the window. Section 1. The fatal exam mistake and top warnings. So where exactly are candidates bleeding marks when it comes to Section 1.3 on symmetric encryption? Well, there are 3 massive examiner warnings you need to internalize right now. Number 1, like we just said, confusing cause and effect. Number 2, forgetting the strict formatting conventions. We're talking proper headings, correct terminology, clear annotations, the whole shebang. And number 3, throwing down a generic textbook answer that completely ignores the specific context of the exam scenario. Cambridge wants analytical depth, not superficial buzzwords. Let's look at the difference. On the left, a classic flawed answer. Symmetric encryption stops hackers from stealing the data. 0 marks. Why? Because encryption doesn't stop theft. A hacker can totally still copy an encrypted file. Now, on the right, the top band beauty, symmetric encryption ensures that if data is intercepted, it remains unreadable without the identical key. See how precise that is? Boom. It sets up a clear, accurate, causal relationship. Section 2, the top band framework. Okay, so how do we consistently pump out top band answers like that? We need a bulletproof framework, something that turns your passive reading into the exact structured logic that Cambridge examiners actually give marks for. It's basically a 3-step sequence. Step 1, deconstruct. Break the scenario down into logical chunks. Step 2, solve systematically. Apply the principles and show you're working clearly. And step 3, evaluate and justify. Check if your answer makes sense in the real world and back it up with hard evidence. This is literally the exact process they want to see. To actually write this out in a long response, use what we call the PEEL-J framework. That's point, evidence, explanation, link, and judgment. You make your precise point, back it up with technical evidence, explain the how and why, link it right back to the specific exam scenario, and finish off with a solid evaluative judgment. It forces you to think like an examiner, which is exactly how you grab those top marks. And here's how this connects to the exam's assessment objectives across 3 cognitive domains. For knowledge and understanding, you gotta hit those precise definitions. For application, it's all about professional formatting and context. But analysis, that is where the absolute magic happens. The examiners specifically look for causal relationships and cross-topic connections. If you can link concepts across these domains, your marks will literally skyrocket. Now, in just a moment, I am gonna reveal a hidden examiner clue that changes your answer completely. Honestly, it's a game changer. But first, we need to stress test this framework we just built to make sure that clue will actually be obvious to you when you're sitting in the exam hall. Section 3, Interactive Spot the Error Challenge. All right, let's raise the stakes. We're going to take all this theory and apply it to a classic Cambridge past paper scenario. Picture this. A corporate network relies on symmetric encryption. And here is an actual style of student answer we see all the time. The sender uses a public key to encrypt the file, and the receiver uses a private key to decrypt it, keeping the network safe. Sounds pretty technical, right? Actually, scratch that. It is a complete disaster. So, I want you to play examiner for a second. Pause and predict right now. Engage that active recall. What are the 2 fatal terminology errors in that student's answer about symmetric encryption? Look closely. Did you catch them? If so, absolutely brilliant. The student totally missed the foundational definition. Symmetric encryption, which is strictly private key only, is a method where the exact same single key is used to both encrypt and decrypt the data. That student started rambling about public and private keys, which is asymmetric encryption. That's a fundamental collapse of knowledge and understanding right there. Let's compare them side by side. The flawed answer fails on basic terminology and throws in a super generic, weak phrase like keeps networks safe. No marks. The top band answer, it perfectly applies our PLJ framework. It says, uses a single, identical private key for encryption and decryption, rendering intercepted files unreadable within the corporate network context. It defines the term, nails the true cause and effect, and anchors it directly to the corporate context they asked for. And this brings us to a massive visual memory hack. I want you to burn this number into your brain right now. The number 1. Whenever you see the words symmetric encryption on the 9626 syllabus, just think 1. It always, absolutely always, relies on exactly one identical key to do the whole job. Lock that in, and you will never ever mix it up with asymmetric encryption on test day.
Section 4. The hidden mark killer. Command words.
Okay, so you've got the top band framework down, and your technical methodology for symmetric encryption is rock solid. You know how to define it, you know the exact causal relationships. But I've got to warn you, there is still a massive, unresolved problem that is secretly threatening your entire exam strategy. You know the exact encryption method now. But do you know why an evaluate command word will instantly fail a perfect describe style answer? Knowing all the encryption theory in the world is totally useless if you misinterpret the command word that literally dictates your mark band. If the examiner asks you to evaluate and you just describe symmetric encryption using our memory hack, you are going to lose the vast majority of the marks. Understanding how these command words secretly dictate the mark scheme is the absolute mandatory next step if you want to secure your grade. Our next explainer reveals exactly how to decode these hidden command words so you never leave easy marks on the table again. Subscribe to our YouTube channel Ace the Exams at acetheexams_IGCSE to excel in your Cambridge examinations. Seriously, don't miss this next one. See you there.